Stand on your mat, feet hip distance apart, and turn your big toes slightly in. By turning your big toes slightly in, you will stand stronger. You really need to push your feet down without locking your knees. So prevent yourself from locking your knees by pushing your hips slightly forward. Then you feel your muscles in your thighs working. It helps to protect your lower back, squeezing the buttocks together, pulling your navel in and up, and lifting your arms sideways and up. Slowly up and slowly down. Exhaling, lower your arms down. Inhale, lift your arms sideways up. You can look at your fingers. And exhale, you look forward and you lower your arms down. Inhale up. Try to push your arms down, like with resistance, so it goes a little bit slower. And you inhale, and then you interlace the fingers above your head. Turn your palms open towards the ceiling. If you're using a ball, grab the ball in between your thighs, just a little bit above the knees, and squeeze the ball. Lift your rib cage, look up to your fingers, and push your hips maybe even a little bit more forward. Lengthen, strengthen, smile at your fingers. It makes it easier to inhale, and exhale slowly, lower your arms sideways and down. Both arms, they go up. You bend your knees, you place your hands flat together. You lower your hands in front of the heart, in front of the sternum, and you move your shoulders back and down. Turn, exhale to the side. Keep your knees bent forward. Yes, that's it. Beautiful. Inhale back to center, and exhale, turn to the opposite side. Look over your shoulder to the back wall, and inhale back to center. Don't look down. So keep your gaze eye height. So don't look down, but look over your shoulder when you turn. Exhale, inhale back to center. And the final one, turn to the opposite side and look over the shoulder. And inhale back to center. Move your arms again, sideways and up. Lengthen your right arm as much as you can. Push a little bit more weight on your right foot and push your left hand in front of your belly to the right. Lengthen and lift it up again and do the opposite side. So you lengthen everything on the left side and you push your right arm in front of your belly to the left side. Push a little bit more weight on the left foot because you're lengthening your left arm. So everything on the left side is working. And change. Lengthen yourself sideways. Imagine that you're standing against the glass wall. You keep your shoulders against the glass wall, both of them. And then you change again. So lift and lengthen. Aim for length. Aim for the ceiling. Push your foot a little bit deeper into the mat. And the final one with the right arm over and push. And the final one with the left arm over and push with the opposite hand in front of your belly. The pushing helps you to connect a little bit more with your obliques. And then inhale up again. And then exhale behind your back. You place your hands flat together, as flat as you can. So push your palms together. Let your hand lean against your hips. Push your hips slightly more forward. Now turn your shoulders back and pull them down. And then rub your hands together as fast as you can. But try to keep your head up straight. So don't lean forward with your head. Keep yourself like nice and tall, like a kind of bodyguard or something. Like really rubbing the hands together for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Feel your hands, feel your shoulders, move your shoulders up and down, 2 more, up and down, and the final one, up and down. Hands on the hips, bend your knees, look at your knees, keep your knees nice and parallel, and swing your knees around. Also swing a little bit with the ankles and a little bit with your feet. Yes, so you start moving your hips, try to keep your shoulders still. Like imagine that there's a vase on top of your head. And then you circle in the opposite direction, maybe a little bit tougher, maybe a little bit less easy. And then slowly stop in center and separate your feet nice and wide apart. So you can choose whatever you want to do, stand how you want to stand, but in between your feet, there needs to be space enough for one of your legs, because you don't want to have this, like your knees going to be over the ankles. This is not so good for your knees. So really take care of your knees, separate your feet. It's never too wide. It's always too close. No, it's not always too close. It can be too close. And place your hands on your hips. Push your hips back, lean forward with your chest, Open your chest, make space, and lengthen your belly. And now slowly push your hips back and slowly push yourself up. So your knees, they go sideways. Yes, that's it. Beautiful. Up and down. It's not a quick exercise. It's like really take time. Feel how you can push with your heels without overstretching your knees. Inhale and exhale. So slow it down and push yourself up. The slower you move, the heavier the exercises will get. So sometimes I rush through it because they're too heavy. And sometimes we take it easy and slow so you can feel it even better. Up and down. 4 more to go. 3 more to go. 2 more to go. And this is the final one. Stay here. Now lift your heel off the floor, one of your heels. And then push it down if you want to push like juice from a fruit, like an orange or something. And you squeeze it. And then you lift your opposite heel and you do the same thing. So you just push it down. Only the heel goes up. And you can see it a little bit. Your knee is also rising, but you're not like you're lifting yourself up. You stay pretty close to the floor with your bum. Up and down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push. This makes your ankles stronger. It works on your thighs. Now keep your belly engaged. So up and down, up and down. It can be quite heavy for your bum, for your backside of your legs. Up and down. 2 more to go. There we go. 2 with this foot and 2 with the opposite foot. Final one and final one. Now place your hands on your thighs and relax. Exhale. Now lengthen your upper body. Really make sure that you point your fingers backwards because it gives more space in your chest. And then turn one of your shoulders down to the floor and without moving your thighs. So you can lower your thighs if you want to, make it a little bit deeper, intense, and look over the opposite shoulder. Try to look behind you. Don't drop your head. Think of your neck as your spine as well. So all these vertebrae, you give more space. Inhale back to center and then change the opposite shoulder. Turn it down, look over the shoulder. So don't drop your head. Try to push your chest forward. There's a little arch in your lower back going on now. Exhale and inhale back to center. Slowly rolling your shoulders up, turning your toes forward, rolling your shoulders down. And vertebra by vertebra, you roll down, bend your knees. And push your toes firmly down, push your heels also firmly down. It gives you more solid standing, even then when you're hanging forward. You can feel you have control with your feet and your legs. And then slowly you start swinging from side to side. Swing yourself from side to side. And then turn to the top of your mat, to the short end of the mat, and step your feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees again, push your toes down, push your heels down, push your feet down, grab your elbows with your hands, and then try to hang here as a ragdoll over your thighs, trying to bring your chest as close to your upper body or your upper thighs as possible. By bending your knees, it makes it easier, but it makes it easier for your back, not easier for your legs. It's pretty heavy for your legs. You can feel burning sensation occurring. Try to hold on to your elbows. Don't pull your elbows away from the floor, but push your elbows a little bit closer to the floor. Lean forward. Look in between your thighs up towards the ceiling. You can still do this with the ball in between your thighs. You can squeeze a little bit more. Keep your knees and ankles in the same distance. And then try to really, really slowly swing your upper body around your legs a little bit. Not too far, because you want to keep your hips as still as possible. Try to keep it still. For 3, 2, and 1. Then you place your hands in front of your feet on the floor. You walk your feet away from the hands. You land on your knees, and then you can remove the ball. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Spread your fingers. Don't lock your elbows. Try to keep your elbows nice and bouncy, and then lift your sternum up towards the wall in front of you and your sit bones also. And then exhale, round your spine. Really take it slow. Feel the movement caused by your belly. Inhale, lengthen your belly. And exhale, pull your belly in as much as you can. So you round your spine even more. Inhale, lengthen the belly. And exhale, push your knees and your toes and your hands firmly down into the ground. Final one, inhale, lengthen. And round your spine. And with the rounded spine, you just shake your head no and you nod some yes. And if you want, you can draw also some small circles in between the hands on the floor with the crown of your head. And also, of course, in the opposite direction. And then you swing your hips from side to side. Make it easy. Do it slowly. Move, feel the movement. Keep your hands firmly down. Push your shoulders above your wrists. So don't lean back. Keep your shoulders nice above the wrist. It's better for your hands as well. And then move your hips all the way to the left. Move your hips over the heels towards the right. Sometimes you hear funny sounds from your knees. Exhale, go forward. Inhale, go back. Exhale, go forward. It's like drawing a circle with your belly button on the floor. The final one. And then you stop with your hands underneath your shoulders. First of all, step your right foot forwards in between your hands. Make sure that your toes are sticking a little bit more forwards than your fingertips. So always your fingertips a little bit behind your toes. It's better for your knee. Now you can place your fingertips on the floor, your fists on the floor, maybe your palms on the floor. Tuck your toes under off the left foot and stretch your left leg. Lift your hips up and slowly try to lower down the left knee almost to the floor, not yet. Inhale up and exhale, slowly lower it down. 2 more to go. Inhale up and exhale, slowly lower it almost down. And the final one, inhale up, 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 up. And exhale, lower down your left knee to the floor. Push your left knee into the mat, lean on your right thigh, try to lift your hands off the floor and try to find your balance here. So you push your left knee down, you push your right foot down, you squeeze your inner thighs, and your upper body is just leaning on your thigh. Now, this might look simple, but just close your eyes for a little bit, because with your eyes closed, it's so much harder to find your balance. Can you feel it? How's your breath doing? Exhale through your mouth, inhale through your nose. Now open your eyes, look at your right foot, and then bring both of your hands to your right thigh. Lift your chest, move your shoulders away from the ears. Perfect. And then your arms go forwards, pinky fingers slightly turned in. It's nicer for your shoulders. You can pull them down more, and then lift your arms up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sideways, push them down. Inhale, go forwards and lengthen up. And exhale, push your arms down. 1 more to go. There it goes. Inhale up. And exhale, slowly lower your hands all the way to the floor next to your right foot. Lift up your right front of the foot. Push your right heel firmer in the mat and try to push your hips back. So it's just only, it goes back. That's it. The direction is going back, straight in a straight line. So your tailbone stays in line with the crown of your head. And push with your heel and push with your left knee. And then you stay here backwards with the hips. You pull your toes up. The entire foot is almost off the floor except your heel. You push it into the mat. You bring your hands a little closer. And then on your fingertips, you lift your upper body off your thigh and then forward fold over the thigh. Keep your knee bent. It's so much nicer. And also when you have your foot, your right foot active, then you still will feel the back stretch of your leg. So the hamstring stretch is going on. And also in your right bum and the right side of the back, pull your navel in and exhale. Final one, stay here. Look at your toes, smile at your toes, because smiling will help your toes look happier. No, not your toes, but your breathing will be better. And then bring your right hand on the inside of the right foot. Swing your right leg all the way back. Place now your right elbow on the floor. And make sure that your right hand is pointing towards the left corner of your front mat. So it's a little bit crooked, the arm, it's diagonally. Then place your left hand on the floor next to your right hand and make sure that you have your left elbow still sticking out. So it's not on the floor, your left elbow. Then you imagine that you're wearing a watch on your right wrist. So you keep your face, your gaze at your right wrist. Walk your elbows, your knees a little closer to your right elbow, just a little bit. It might feel just a little bit different. It's nicer to push your knees firmly down and then stretch your left leg. Lean forward, lift your left leg and squeeze the muscles around the bones. It's like really hug the muscles around the bones of the left leg. So you make it strong and you don't lift it too high. Don't go for height, go for length. So the leg is stronger. And then you lower it down and you lift it up again. So down and up. And then it's like push your heel up. It's like you use your heel as a hammer to push nails into the ceiling or something. Up and down. Yeah, sometimes you have to use crazy images to do it more precise. Up and down. How is your belly doing? Are you pulling your belly in and up? Trying to push your hip also like nice and stable, and trying to feel the activity going on in your left bum. Up and down. The left buttocks is working. Up and down. 4 more to go. There we go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you bend your left knee. Just bend your left knee. Keep your foot and your thigh in the air. You can look sideways if you want to, but it's for your neck. It's always better to keep your neck in line with your spine. Now we're going to push your heel up. So it's just a little bit. So up and down, up and down. Don't lower your knee down. Keep your knee nice and high, up and down, up and down. Push with your right knee. The more you can push with your right knee, the more you will feel your left bum. Is it burning already? Can you breathe? Can you still smile? For 6 and 5 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 1. And I stretch and bend the leg. Yeah, the counting. If you know me, you know I can count. So don't count on me. I can stretch my leg and bend my leg. 4 more to go. That's okay. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now keep your knee bent. Try to lower your left knee almost to the floor, not really. So it's hanging next to your right leg. You keep your left foot flexed. You can look to the left, and you're going to lift your left leg just very slowly up and down. It's like almost like a peeing dog. Up and down, sideways, up and down. Try to keep your back as still as possible. So you're a little bit crooked because your right elbow is on the floor and your left hand is on the floor. How are you doing? Up and down. 4 and 3. Yeah, you feel it there. That's exactly where you need to feel it. 2 and 1. And lower your knee and separate your knees. Spread your fingers, lower down your hips to your heels, and slide your arms forward for child's pose. So it's a nice long back stretch. And also it's nice to release the tension from your arms and your legs. And it's a nice bum stretcher, good for your hips. And sigh it out, especially when you are holding your breath. It's nice to like really let it go through your mouth, like ah. And when you do it, you feel your inhale gets better. And by improving your breath, you will improve also your endurance. Feel how your breath is doing. It's the best energy that you can give your body now, just the breathing. Breathing in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. Now lift your head, crawl on your elbows forwards and lay on your belly. So if you have sensitive hip bones or sensitive pubic bone, then you can place a pillow or something or a blanket underneath your hips, because you need to push with your hips onto the floor. Place both of your hands underneath your forehead. Try to place your hands as far forward as possible, so but still want to have your head on your hands. Move your shoulders away from the ears, push your hips down, and try to lift one leg at a time. The foot that stays on the floor, you push it down. So if you lift your right leg, you push with your left leg. If you lift your left leg, you push with your right foot, up and down. So push with the foot which stays on the floor, up and down. Try to lengthen the opposite leg, up and down. 4 more to go. There we go, 4 and up. Try to keep your hips as stable as possible, still as possible. 2 more to go. Pull your navel in, away from the floor, and the final one. And then you bend your knees, both of them. Bring your knees to the edges of your mat. Bring your feet together. Your soles of your feet are pointing towards the ceiling. So not together, your feet, but only your heels are together and your toes are turning out. Now try to lift one thigh at a time. So push your hip bones down. Try to keep your hips as stable as possible and try to lift one thigh off the floor.
by pushing your heel up towards the ceiling. Pushing also your hip bones down into the mat. If you feel your elbows are also helping, then try to focus more on the movement on your hips. So you have less movement around the shoulders and elbows, up and down. 4 to go, there we go. 4, 3, 2, and the final one. And then you lengthen your legs. Keep your feet on the floor. Try to keep your feet really, really steady on the floor. So like imagine that they're glued to the floor. You cannot lift your feet anymore off the floor, but you can lift your upper body and you can support your full head with your hands. So feel your head, your full head is laying on your hands. Keep your elbows nice and wide and then lift your upper body a little bit off the floor. Keep your face looking down and then exhale, lower your upper arms down and almost to the floor. So it's up and down. So you hover a little bit higher and then you hover very close to the floor. Up and down, up and down. How are your toes doing? Are they still connected to the floor? Keep pushing with your feet. Keep your legs strong and active. 2 more to go. Up and down. And the final one, stay here. Now spread your arms like wings. Be careful for your neighbor. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Now squeeze the palms of your hands together and lift your rib cage. Now you can look a little bit more forward, but not too far forward, because you want to keep your neck nice and long. You want to shake no, you want to shake yes, you want to sing. Take a good inhale and exhale. Place your hands next to your rib cage. So not underneath your shoulders, but a little bit more to your rib cage. Now squeeze your elbows in, lift your rib cage a little higher, keep your hips on the floor, and exhale, slowly lengthening your belly forward. Keep your legs on the floor. So inhale, lift your rib cage, keep your hips on the floor, even maybe your belly button, and exhale, go forward. So you don't want to fold your back in twos, you want to lengthen this space. So imagine that you can push your chest forward, crawling over the wall in front of you, over the wall towards the ceiling. And exhale, slowly lower it down. And now you push only with your hand. Now, not only with your hands, but also with your knees and your toes. And you push yourself back on hands and knees. Walk your hands a little bit more to the top of the mat. Wiggle with your tailbone. And draw those circles to the right side. Drop your head, look at your belly, look at your hips, and move your hips to the right, over the heels, to the left. Move your hips to the right, over the heels, to the left. Feel how you can draw those circles. Beautiful circles, slow circles. Also gives a massage for your hips and your shoulders. And the final one. And now you can place your left hand in between your hand, of your left foot in between your hands. I'm going to change from direction of the mat so you can have a better view. So my left foot is stepping forwards in between the hands. Make sure that your toes are a little bit more in front of your fingertips. It's better for your knee. Take care of your knee. And tuck your toes under of the right foot. Stretch your right leg, push your right heel away, and try to pull in your belly when you push your hips up. And then slowly lower your hips down. Inhale up and exhale down. You can look at your left foot when your right knee is sinking down. You can look at your right knee when you're lifting your right hip up and down. 2 more to go. Up and down. And the final one, inhale up. And then very slowly, with control, lower down your right knee. Trying to squeeze your inner thighs together. Untuck your toes, push down your right knee, lean on your thigh with your chest. So your left shoulder, your left side of your chest is leaning on your thigh, and you pick up your hands. Can you find your balance here? With your eyes open, it's easier. So you first start with your eyes open. If you're doing fine, you can close your eyes and you can feel how your leg, your foot is working to find the balance. It's so much harder with your eyes closed. But control your breath. So don't stop breathing. Continue your smooth, slow breath. Full exhale. Slow, deep inhale. And then you open your eyes and you bring both of your hands to the left knee. And then you pick up your chest and you lower your shoulders back and you lower your shoulders down. You can feel you're working with both of your legs. So your right knee is pushing down, you're squeezing your inner thighs,
and your gaze is focused on a particular point in front of you. Then you move your arms forwards, pinky fingers slightly turned in. It's nicer for your shoulders. You lift your arms, and by lifting up your arms, you can feel your shoulders gliding on your back, and then you push your arms slowly sideways and down. Inhale, lift your arms. You might want to look up. It's a little harder, so be careful and push them down. Inhale up, the final one. And exhale, slowly lower down your hands. Now pick up your front of the foot, of the left foot. You walk your hands a little bit back, and then you push your hips back and forward. But the heel stays where it is. And you can lower your foot when you go forward, and you push your hips back, and then you pick up the foot. But you don't pick up the entire foot, because the heel stays on the floor, and you keep your left knee bent when you go back. So don't try to stretch your left leg. Even when you're very flexible and you can stretch your left leg, it's not necessary. It has nothing to do with control. So keep your knee bent, keep your foot active, pick up all your toes, but also the sole of the foot. Only the back of the heel is still into the floor. Push it into the floor, push your knee down, pick your fingertips, place them on the floor, and lift your chest away from your thigh, and then forward fold over the leg toward your toes. It's like you want to kiss your toes. Inhale up, and exhale, go forward. Inhale up, higher and higher. Keep your knee bent, and exhale, go forward, and feel the more you activate your foot, the more the hamstring stretch is there for you. So even when you have a tight hamstring, this is the best way to strengthen, to lengthen your hamstrings. And you're going to activate a little bit more your quadriceps, the front muscles in your thigh, which helps to get more flexibility in the back of your leg. Then you place your left hand on the inside of the left foot, and then you swing your left leg all the way back. You can place your knee on the floor, because we're going to place left elbow on the floor. And your left hand is pointing towards the front corner on the right side of your mat. So it's again crooked, but your left elbow is underneath your shoulder. Make sure that it's underneath your shoulder. Right hand is next to your left hand. Your index finger and your thumb, they fit together. And then you walk your knees a little bit more up towards the left elbow, because when you stay here, you're going to hang into your back, in your lower back. It's not necessary to, it's not good to hang in your back. So that's why you will always want to push it up. And if you walk your knees a little closer, just a little closer, then it's a little bit easier to push this lower part of your back up towards the ceiling. So it means that you're contracting your abdominal muscles. Push down your left knee, lengthen down your right leg. Now really squeeze, hug the muscles around the bones, and lift your right leg. Make it as long as possible. Don't lift it too high. What happens when you lift it too high? You're going to sink into your chest again. So you don't want to sink into your chest. You can flex the foot, you can point your foot, whatever feels good for you. Keep your gaze at your left wrist, and lower down the right foot, up and down. And use your heel. Use your heel to push it up towards the ceiling, but don't go for height, go for length. So it's lengthening, and also try to push your head forwards more. It's up and down. How far can you push down your left knee into the mat? It's like really push it down, and then you feel more control in your right leg as well. So it's not a very fast movement, a strong movement. And the right hand and the right elbow are up. The right hand is down into the mat, but your right elbow is still off the floor. Up and down for 3, 2, and 1. Now keep your leg up. Try to keep it there where it is. It's like leaning on something. And then you're going to bend your knee without lowering the knee. So it's bend and stretch the leg. It's like also here you can squeeze oranges in the increase of your knee. Keep your gaze at your left wrist. Pull your belly in. Push your left knee down. Sometimes one leg is easier than the other leg. So you might feel the difference already. Up and down, bend and stretch, bend and stretch. Squeeze, like you want to touch your bum with your heel. Squeeze and stretch, and squeeze and stretch. 3 more to go, 2 more to go. And the final one, keep your knee bent and keep your foot floating above the knee. And then you're going to push your heel up and up. So that's it. Yes, that's it. Beautiful. Up and down, up and down. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, I don't sing. That's true. Up and down for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now slowly, the knee is still bent. You're going to drop the knee, but not to the floor, but it's hanging next to your left leg. And then we go for the peeing dog. Flex the foot so your entire leg is active. And then you lift your leg up and down. You can look sideways if you want to, see where your knee is going. Sometimes when you see what you're doing, it makes it a little bit easier. Then you think, okay, go for it. It's Sunday morning now when we record this. So go for it. Make it your Sunday morning. Make it worth doing it. 4 to go. 3 to go. 2, you're almost there. And this is the final one. And then you lower your knee and you place your knees on the floor and you sigh it out and you lengthen your arms and you bring your knees to the edges and your toes together and you lengthen your arms and feel the difference between the left shoulder, right shoulder, left hand, right hand. How are your fingers doing? How are your wrists doing? You can also make 2 fists and push the back of your hand to the wall in front of you. So your thumbs are sticking out. You can point your thumbs up when you push the back of your hand to the wall in front of you. Try to lower your armpits closer to the floor and feel the width of your chest, the expansion in your chest. Take a good slow inhale and feel how you can pull your belly deeper into your belly space when you exhale. Take a good deep inhale and a slow exhale. And one more, inhale. And exhale, slide your hands over the floor towards your knees. Then slowly start rolling yourself up and bring your legs in front of you. You can turn your mat if you want to see it, or you can just lay down on your back. We're going to grab the knees with the hands. You flex your feet, make sure that you have enough space behind you to roll safely to. You drop down your back, you lift up your feet, and you roll down to your back. And when you have your back on the floor, make sure that your head is laying in a straight line, in line with your neck, and your neck is in a straight line, in the same line as your pubic bone is. And then draw some circles with your knees on the ceiling, just very slowly. Feel how your back is doing, how are your legs doing, how is your bum doing, how are your wrists doing. If this is a nice stretch also for your wrist, make some space after pushing with the hands on the floor. It's nice to pull on your knees and push with your knees against the hands and turn those circles now in the opposite direction. So change and give your lower back a soft massage, especially on the floor. It's nice to do when you have a mat on it, not on a wooden floor, on a stone floor. It's too hard, but when you're laying on a mat and the surface is flat, and then it's a nice way to give a little bit more space in your lower back, especially when your lower back hurts from time to time. Now slowly stop it and place only your left foot on the floor. With 2 hands, you hold the knee, the right knee. You can also hold your increase of your knee. If it feels better for your knee, just hold the increase of your knee. Otherwise, on top of your knee. Interlace the fingers if it's possible and squeeze your elbows close to your chest. Pull your right leg closer and closer to your chest. And your left foot is still standing on the floor. Just close your eyes and try to push your right sit bone more forward. So you keep your hips nice and straight in the same line as you have your shoulders. So your hips and shoulders are parallel. Push your right sit bone forwards and pull your right knee closer to your chest. Then you lift your head and shoulders and you place both of your hands on your right shin. Then turn your right toes up and turn your right knee all the way to the right and try to place your right heel, ankle bone on the front of your left thigh. And if you look at your legs, it looks like a figure 4, but it's an upside down. So you see it, you have like a figure 4. There's space underneath your calf muscle. And this is like a little hole. I like show you. So it's like more this. It's not so easy to see when all the clothes are black, but you have your legs in a hook. Now push your right thigh, a leg against your left thigh. Feel how you can push. Place your right hand on the inside of your right thigh and then push it a little bit away from you. You can feel it in your hip. You can feel it in your outer hip, your inner hip. You can feel it in your lower back because it's all to do with the hip flexor. And then swing your hips from side to side, very slowly. Just shake your hips. Just shake your hips. It's like really rocking a baby, rocking a cradle. Make it fall asleep. 3, 2, and 1. And then you stop. You tilt your hips. So flat back into the mat. Lift your head and shoulders. Lift your left foot. Push your left thigh against your right ankle and push your left leg up. Now you have that hole in between your legs and stick your right arm through the hole. And your left hand is going to be on the outside of your left leg. Now interlace the fingers behind your leg. Look at your left foot and try to slowly lower down your shoulders, your neck, and your head, and pull a little bit on the left leg. Can you feel a little bit resistance in your right hip, in your right thigh? You can rock yourself from side to side very gently because you have no elbows close to the floor, so you have to really gently rock yourself from side to side. Do it slowly with care, feeling a nice stretch in your right hip, but it's also a spine stretcher. Well, it's the muscles along the spine, you make them a little bit longer. And then you create more elasticity for a bigger range of movement. If you have more space, then the movement gets easier. And then slowly, slowly stop swinging. And then you place your left foot on the floor and you place your right foot next to your left foot. Lengthen both of your legs and feel the difference. Feel the difference. Sometimes you can feel like it's really, it's a little bit too much, or sometimes you can feel like, oh, it was so easy. I can show you also a little harder version if you want to. So place both of your feet again on the floor. Pull your left knee towards your chest. Interlace your fingers on top of your knee or in the increase of your knee. Elbows close to your body and pull the left knee close to your chest, but without pulling your left hip towards you. You want to push your left hip, your sit bone forwards away from your left shoulder. So you're keeping your hips and shoulders parallel. Keep your chin tucked in. You can try to look at your left knee. You can circle with the left foot. Sometimes it's helpful to release some of the tension in your hip flexors. And also by drawing the circle, it makes it easier to flex the foot. So flex your left foot, lift your head and shoulders on the inhale, turn your left heel to the right so you can place your left ankle on the front of your right thigh and drop your head. Place your right hand on the inside, left hand on the inside of your left leg, and then swing your hips from side to side. Here you might feel that your lower back is arching, and that's perfectly fine. You can swing a little bit more on your muscles around the hips, like the bum, the gluteus. You swing your hips, you rock your hips, and your shoulders, they stay still. You can feel it, that you can keep your shoulders nice and still. So it's also a nice thing to get a little bit more awareness around the obliques. And then slowly you stop in center, you tilt the hips, make your back flat, lift your head and shoulders, lift your right leg, straighten your right leg more and more and more. So you push a little bit more against your left ankle, then place your left arm underneath your left calf muscle, and then interlace the fingers behind your right upper thigh. If you think your arms are too short for your legs, then you can lower your hands closer to your bum. The closer to your bum they are, the easier it is to release your neck and shoulders back to the floor without looking back. If you have space and you feel like the left hip is fine, you can also grab your right shin. So you bend your right leg and then you grab the shin. Then it's a little bit more intense. So instead of grabbing the calf muscle, you bend your right leg and your right hand and left hand are over the shin now. So it feels different, probably a little bit more intense. Try to really keep your left foot good flexed, because when your foot is flexed, it's also a protection for your knee and your ankle. And then slowly you stop in center and you stretch both legs up in the air. Stretch both of your legs in the air. Flex and point your feet. Keep your legs in the air, even if they're shaking. That's a good sign that you did all the exercises. Very good and well-deserved shaking. And then you cross your ankles, cross your ankles. Now keep your arms nice and wide next to you. You can open your arms just a little bit more off the mat, and then draw some circles with your feet on the ceiling. So draw some small circles. Feel how you can push with your shin against your calf, but also with your calf against your shin. Try to squeeze your knees together, squeeze your thighs together, and turn in the opposite direction. So with your same foot in front, you circle, but this time in the opposite direction. Feel how your back is doing. Can you keep your head on the floor? You can bend your knees. Don't worry, you don't have to straighten your legs all the way, but try to keep your feet pointing up towards the ceiling, not towards your bum. And then slowly you stop circling, and then you cross your ankles the other way around. So squeeze your thighs again, squeeze your calves again. Now this time you're going to lift your head, your shoulders. You don't want to look at your legs, because when you look at your legs, your head is going back, and you want to look at your belly. So look forward, look down at your belly. Make sure that you have space enough for your fist underneath your chin. So your neck is long in the front, in the side, and in the back. You can interlace the fingers behind your back, and you're going to squeeze your legs together, and you push your legs a little bit away, and then you pull your legs a little bit closer to you, and then you push your legs away. If you see that your belly is popping out, then your legs are going too far out. So don't go too far with your legs. It's better to feel that you have the ability to control everything you do, instead of like feeling your back is arching or your belly is popping out. Don't make it too big. If you make it too big, you're going to hurt your back, and then maybe you skip classes next week, and then everything is getting weaker. So go for whatever you can do, feel. And sometimes it's just 5 centimeters, and then you come back. You can make it really small, and then you can make it still really intense, because it's not about how far you can push your legs away. It's like, really, how is your breathing doing? How is your back doing? Can you push your back into the floor? 2 more to go. There you go. Push it away and pull it towards you. And the final one, push it away and pull it towards you. Now lower down your head, bend your knees, grab your knees with both of your hands, and just close your eyes. Let your elbows hang. Push your lower back against the floor. Push your shoulders against the floor. Sigh it out and roll your head from side to side. Really slowly roll your head from side to side. Now keep both of your hands on your right knee again. Place your left foot on the floor and lengthen it. So slide your left foot over the floor away, and try to keep your left calf against the mat. By flexing the left foot, it makes it a little bit easier. Now try to pull the right knee closer to the right side of your chest. So it's not really centered, it's a little bit more to the right. If it's very easy, then try to add some resistance. So push your knee away into the hands. You won't be able to see it from the outside that you're pulling or pushing, but you can feel it in the inside. Try to feel that you're lowering down the right side of your back more and more into the floor. Now again, draw some circles with the right foot, releasing the tension of your hip flexor. And this is also a lot of to do with lower back pains. So drawing those circles, pulling the right knee to your chest will help you to release a lot of tension from your hip flexor, your psoas, from your lower back, from the ankle, and even from your neck. And now you stop the foot, you lift again your head and shoulders, and wrap your left arm over your right knee. So you lift your head, and then you can see your right knee, and the left hand goes to the outside of the right knee. Then place your right hand next to you on the floor. Look at your right arm, lower down your head while looking at the right arm. Keep your right arm on the floor, push your right arm on the floor, lift your right bum off the floor. So you pull with your left hand on the right leg, and then you pull your right leg to the left. You can bring it higher to your chest. You can bring it more above the hip. Feel how far you want to bring your right leg to the left, but keep your left leg on the floor and keep your right shoulder on the floor. Keep your gaze to the right, which makes it easier to keep your right shoulder on the floor. If you turn with your head to the left, your right shoulder probably will flip over off the floor, and then you have just the side laying on your side, which is also nice, but it has nothing to do with its spine twist. And these spine twists are so healthy. They create space in between your vertebrae, which is good for your central nervous system. Feel also that your bowel system gets a little massage, so which is also very good for your immunity. Getting rid of your toxins. Exhale. Take a deeper inhale. And exhale, slowly roll back. Place your right foot on the floor, lengthen the right leg. Close your eyes again and feel the difference. Maybe you feel like one leg is so much longer, heavier. How is your back doing? And if you roll with your head from side to side, feel the difference between the left side and the right side of your neck. We're going to do exactly the same with the left leg. So first of all, place both of your feet behind your bum on the floor. Slide a little closer with your bum towards your feet because it's helpful to tilt your hips, and then you have your flat back on the floor already. Pull your left knee close to your chest, interlace the fingers on top of your left leg. Keep your elbows closed, slide your right foot over the floor away. Keep flexing the right foot because it's helpful to keep your right calf muscle on the floor and to want to keep your hips nice and balanced. And then you start drawing those circles with the left foot. You pull your left knee a little bit closer to the left side of your chest. Can you feel you're pulling, or are you also pushing a little bit with the knee against your hand? Sometimes it's nice to push a little bit to feel that your hip flexors are still strong. Opposite direction, it's nice to draw those circles. It also has to do with a lot of tension around the neck. Circling with the foot will help to release some of the tension, which sounds maybe ridiculous, but it's so because due to the fact that there's a lot of fascia going around and towards the neck from the foot. Now the foot stops, you lift your head and shoulders, you exhale so you can push your lower back a little firmer into the floor. Then you bring your right arm over your left shin to the outside of your left knee. You place your left arm beside you on the floor, look at your left arm, lower down your head. Keep your gaze towards your left arm and then pull with your right arm, your left knee over to the right. You can pull it higher, then you might feel it a little bit more into the length of your spine. You can also push it a little lower, then you feel it a little bit more, the contraction going on in your belly. So feel where do you want to pull the left leg higher, closer to your right shoulder or closer to your right hip. Feel you can adjust and make it absolutely fitted for you today. It's like you are taking care of your body. I'm giving you directions, but you have to follow the impulses your body gives to you. Feel how you can release tension with your exhale. By releasing tension, you create more space for energy. The breathing, take care of that. Take another deeper inhale. Exhale, release. Maybe you feel that you sink a little deeper when you exhale through your mouth. So do it one more time. Take a good, slow, deep inhale. And exhale, release. Inhale, turning back. Place your left foot on the floor. Exhale, lengthen it. Interlace your fingers above your head. Inhale, lengthen your arms away from your feet away from your hands. And make yourself super duper long. Feel how long you can make yourself. Now try to lengthen one leg at a time. So you push your foot a little bit further. It's like there is something standing on the end of the mat and you want to push it away. By doing this, you can do this also in bed each morning before you get up, or each evening when you go to bed, and you lengthen. You create so much more space in your lower back that your lower back issues are melting away. So it's a very, very good way to get rid of lower back issues. Just lengthening one leg at a time, just moving your hips and let your hips be carried by the floor. Feel that your shoulders are also carried by the floor. Even when your hands are not touching the floor, don't worry, your arms get there eventually. And then slowly, slowly, you stop wiggling with your legs, you bring your arms back up, you hug your legs one more time, and you can roll sideways, or you grab the increase of your knees and you roll up for sitting. And then you come sit in cross-legged position with both thumbs on the floor. Try to lengthen yourself as much as you can. If you have a pillow nearby, I would say go sit on the pillow because you can straighten your back much more. And even the ball will do. You can sit on the edge of the ball, which sounds really, really strange. But you can sit on the pink balls, you can sit on the edges, and then you have a little easier way to stretch your spine. Okay, nice and tall. Close your eyes. Rest your hands on your thighs. And imagine that you have your left shoulder and you're going to lower down your left shoulder blade towards your right bum. And then bring the awareness to your right shoulder blade and lower down your right shoulder down towards the left bum, which makes it easier to sit up straight, which makes it easier to breathe better because there's more space in your chest. Feel your breath. Sigh it out through your mouth. And on the next inhale, you lift your arms sideways with a smile on your lips. And exhale, you push down your arms, also sideways and down, drawing a big circle around you. Feel this circle one more time, all the way up with positive vibes. Close your circle and bring your hands towards the heart and thank yourself for your effort. Stay fit, happy and healthy, and stay tuned in, and hope to see you soon.